being recorded.
Welcome back to the line, Minister Willie Mooney. Willie, are you out there?
Yes, I am. How are you this morning, Kathy?
I am awesome, too blessed to be stressed, doing tax stuff, one of my other hats.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead and
Right,
take
getting
another
out
breath.
all that good stuff. Man, amazing. So this particular call, I have a special guest coming on. But before I bring that special guest on, I'm gonna flip, as Moshi used to say, I'm gonna flip the tortilla, and I want to make sure that everybody on this call hears about all the wonderful things that we have going on, as far as our weekly presentations, as far as what's happening on the weekend. So, without further ado, if you are on the call this for Saturday, any call that you have taken ownership of and you know that you're going to be there, please feel free to unmute and tell us all about it. And before anybody speaks, let me also say that a lot of the corporate events you can go right into your app. We have an app that is available for Droid and it's available for iPhone. You can go right into that app and see a calendar of all the corporate events. But without further ado, who's first on the microphone?
Hey, Willie Mooney, it's Bernadine Kirkland. How you doing?
Hey, Diamond Bernadine.
Hey, Diamond Mooney. I am excited that I am going to be back in the saddle tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, doing our corporate presentation, corporate overview. Happy to have a tight presentation that we'll be able to run through, and looking forward to all of the distributors and any guests that you have on tomorrow.
Love it. And that is on the $1 billion line, right? Everybody,
absolutely.
If you're on the call and you don't know
what that same line.
The same line at the same time. So if you don't know what that $1 billion line is, reach out to the person that invited you to this call, or reach out to your upline if you just so happen to not have that $1 billion line. Thank you, Diamond Bernadine. Who is next to announce the wonderful things that we have going on this week, upcoming week? Anybody else? I know on Tuesday, you all, we also have on the $1 billion line, right? We have our Dr. Betty Guy, or the Medical Advisory Board, coming in to share whether it's something about our products that's new. We have a lot of different new products, you all. And usually, Dr. Betty does a wonderful, excellent job at sharing how those products are applicable to your everyday lives. So if you want to hear about that, or definitely feel free to use it as a tool to plug everyone in. And that is on Tuesday evening. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me exactly. I think that is also at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that happens on Tuesday. Is there anyone else?
Thanks, Diamond Mooney, for announcing that for me.
Oh, we're good. No.
Great
morning, Dr. Betty.
Excellent job.
Did I do you
Stay
good?
Clean. Stay clean.
Oh, praise. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll be there on Tuesday. How about certification?
Yes. Go right
this
ahead,
Sunday.
Dr. Betty, yes, this Sunday is certification. Go on right ahead on.
Yeah,
Are you
so
excited about
good morning, everybody. Yes. So this Sunday at 6 p.m., immediately following the Akana overview at 5, at 6 p.m., we begin certification. This is going to be fresh, guys. You got to get there. And then it's going to be from 6 to approximately 9. And then a new piece of certification is going to do with social media, digital creation, et cetera, which is going to be presented by our phenomenal CEO. And for those who want more in-depth training on that aspect of our business on Monday night, I believe it's at 7 p.m. I believe
That's
it's at
correct.
7 p.m. on Monday. She's going to do a deep dive into digital creation. What's the other word? Becoming an influencer in social selling, et cetera, et cetera. So this is one you really don't want to miss. It's like I said, it's going to be fresh. And
Love it.
that is about it for me.
I love it. Man, that sounds amazing. So you all, let me tell you, don't miss certification. Get it out to your team members. Get it out to your business partners. Get it out to everybody who has distributorship and partnership within Akana. So without further ado, you all, there's a special guest that I mentioned that I want to bring on the line. And it is my wife. So prayerfully, she is available because we want to take you on a walk. And let me check to make sure that she's here. Babe, are you here?
Yes, good morning, I'm here.
Right. So you all, this is my wonderful wife, my amazing wife, my rib, my unicorn. I use all those accolades when referencing my wife. Without her being in this space with me, I'm gonna tell you, it would not work. Without her being in my life, my purpose would not work. So I wanted to do something special to bring my wife on the call because, man, let me tell you, we had such an amazing walk yesterday. And we want you to walk with us, right? We want you to take a walk with us. So in Chicago, you all, it is freezing cold. Ain't that right, babe?
Indeed, it is. It's rainy. But before I go, I just want to greet the masses. As my Les Brown says, it is a plump pleasure to be before you guys this morning. So I just want to say hello to everybody, give my well welcomes across the world. But yes, it is rainy and cold.
Yes, it is rainy and cold. And let me tell you all, let me share one thing with you all. Sometimes you've been able to see the Moonies on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook, and we could act a doggone something, right? But we love the transparency. So what we're about to share this morning with us taking a walk is so from the hip. But I believe that what we experienced yesterday will be a blessing to somebody. I don't know who it is, but we took a walk during the winter, right? Yesterday we anticipated it was going to be about 51 degrees, babe, right?
Yep. 51.
So 51 degrees. So when we stepped outside of the house, we dressed for 51 degrees. And I would say about 5 houses down after we took a walk. What happened, babe? Can you share?
5 houses into the walk starting, my first thought was, it ain't 51 degrees. Let's go back home. So in my mind, to go back home is to go back home and stay. Well, my husband decided to do what? He wanted to
go ahead.
He wanted to go home and put on heavier coats. And in my mind, I'm like, I ain't feeling this. Energy is low. There ain't no sunshine. The weather ain't saying what it's supposed to be. I just want to go home because it's cold.
Right. And it made sense to go back home. But as my wife said, you know what? Something just hit me because I really didn't want to go on the walk. But since we were already on the walk, I'm like, no, we set a goal. Let's keep going. Let's weather this storm. So we just came out and we didn't anticipate it, in which we probably should have thought a little ahead to just step, but we underestimated what it was that we were going into. But I was like, hey, babe, let's weather the storm. Let's go back. We didn't prepare, right, properly, but we have everything that we need. So let's put on more clothes and let's go. So, so she was like, darn it. But when we went home, grabbed the skull cap, put on a couple of layers, we was able to get out the house and start our walk. And what do you remember most about that walk, Dave?
So this is the first thing that I want to say. He mentioned weather the storm, right? You got to know that the first foundation of us even taking the walk was not because neither one was desirable to do such. The reason for being is, as we know, when you're feeling a little gloomy down, the weather around you, your outer appearance is not showing what you want it to be. We know if we move our body, those dopamines will get to move, and it'll bring some joy and some sunshine from internally out. So that was the foundations of weathering the storm, not just in the physical realm, but internally as well. So me being me, saying, hey, with this bright idea, let's go for a walk. And as we began to walk, it was not what it was supposed to be, according to the weatherman, but yes, according to God. As we take this walk, my husband began to identify with these trees, right? When you look at the trees, I want you guys, wherever you are in your place, your home, driving down the car, whatever that looks like, just kind of look outside. Being that we're here in January, right, in the midst of winter, you may look at these trees and think, they ain't bearing no leaves. They ain't looking like they ready for the spring to come. Actually, some of them actually looks dead. So my husband noticed about the trees.
Right. So, and I love that she brought it up that way because I'm looking at trees right now. I'm sitting in my car. I just dropped off my son. And I wanted to recapture the moment. And I looked at the tree and I said, what makes it not beautiful? And I love the aesthetics of life. And what I had gotten is that even in the state that that tree is in, it's something that's happening on the inside, and it comes back every single year. What makes it not beautiful? Because God has planted it here. It has its ability to grow leaves. It's just you don't see them now. And is it really that what I see, is it really what it is? So what I start also looking at, I zoom right in and I said, there's something, well, one, we know that there's something alive and these trees are still alive and they have the ability to bear leaves in the right season, in the right season. And I know we're getting ready to go into February, right, which is we're in the first quarter. I talked about yesterday being in the first quarter, right, and we're going into the second month. And I talked about accumulation. I don't know what's going on in the side of that tree, but I'm here to tell you that if you're that tree, you're still alive, which means that you have the ability to go forth in the next season and bear whatever it is that God has created you to bear. And I just saw that in the simple aesthetics of life in the tree. And then what else I saw trees with leaves. And then let me know. I saw green. And I'm like, wait a minute. In this season right now, there is still bushes and there's still tall trees that are bearing green. And I'm like, wait a minute. So that means people weather the storm differently. Wow. And my wife was like, go ahead, babe.
That's real good. As he says, people weather the storm different. I want you to look, take a glimpse. If you guys can use all your senses and imagination, in the Word of God, it says the two should always become one, right? When it comes to ministry of marriage. And it also says when two or more gather together in the midst, that he shall dwell in that place. So as we walk, remember I told you, according to the internal state of the being of individuals, we did not want to go for a walk, but the foundation was set so we can get those dopamines. And as we walked, there was one in particular, my husband, who perspective changed. Sometimes when you take this walk in life and in business, you have to have more than one set of eyes. That's one. Two, you have to see different perspective. Three, you have to know in which lens you are looking through, right? As he stated, we are in the season of winter, which in the natural, it looks like these trees possibly can be dead. Are they bearing fruit or things of such? But when the highlight was given to me on, hey, look on this perspective, not only did he see some green or maybe some leaves on some of them, and then me looking externally at them, they were strong as an ox. But you know what else we see? When the trees are bare naked, you can see nests, bird nests, right? We often know that birds, you'll see birds throughout the season, winter, spring, summer, fall, no respect of person. You will see them, but the nest is what we notice as well, that it was someone home. It was someone harvest. But again, it's looking from the perspective of someone else's lens. We don't always know it all. Sometimes we may not be in that space to even receive it. But if you just take a walk sometime and lock arms with another person, look from a different lens and look from a different perspective in which you are seeing the natural. Go ahead, babe.
I love that, babe. I love that because, I love that iron sharpens iron and looking from a different perspective. But even looking at this bird's nest right now, it depends on that tree. So it's like if it's like that tree needed to be there for a particular reason in this season. And I'm looking at a lot of different trees and I'm seeing nests, and you mentioned the word strong. Like support. I want to mention the word support. Like putting ourselves in the right environment during the right season so that we can be supported. That's one takeaway that I got from walking with yesterday and seeing that nest in the tree is somebody is dependent on you to be there. Or maybe there's somebody that you need to be there for you, right? And I think that Akana has created that environment where you can always hold on while you're holding on during the winter or whatever season it is, but be in the right environment where you're getting your iron sharpened. So I love that about my wife. Like sometimes it's up for me, right? Sometimes it's up for her. Sometimes in reverse, it's down. But I love that we complement one another. And that's not saying that we don't weather our own storms. Which sometimes we just have to take a walk and go woosah. And I just pray that what we shared this morning allows you to move forward and allows you to weather the storm, allows you to get what it is that I feel in this particular season. It's not that it's easy, right, babe? It's not easy at all.
It's not easy at all. And I'm going to keep going back to the foundation. I'm a very detailed, organized person. So the way my brain moves structure, even though my husband is a B positive such as myself, we still move two individual ways. And as I started off in the call, neither one of us wanted to go for a walk. As the walk ended and we entered our home, the joy that one another have. So I want to encourage you guys that even if you do have a spouse, lock arms with your spouse. Even if you don't, lock arms with a friend. If you don't have that friend, you have Akana. We built a culture of people that is here for you, to give you resources that will encourage you, to motivate you to keep pushing, even in the midst of a weather when you're just taking a walk and it did not show up the way it said it was going to show up. You got to keep going, keep pressing, and believing that the two should always be more than just one. So I just want to empower you guys and encourage you all. As I said in the beginning, as my Les Brown said, it's a plump pleasure being on this call with my husband this morning. So my ask is that I hope that you heard something that inspired you, encouraged you to take the next action, and know that the seasons will change, the weather will change, but you got to look at the statics of life in a positive manner. And so that you guys be blessed.
I love it. And as our CEO would say, one mic drop, as I would say, love you, wife. Love it, love it, love it. And as our CEO will say, we will see you at the top, the very top, the tip top, and busting through the top. Love you all. Leaders and above, see you on the next call. Thank you, babe.
You are welcome.